A cozy traveler. Care to hear a tale? Well, I was born to a family of merchants on the Pearl Coast. I was a restless boy, and my feet took me to the Valen Republics when I came of age. I learned of the power of geography and language at my father's knee, and those skills proved useful in the Republics. I joined up with a company based in Girara that traded in beautiful weavings. But they were ill-gotten gains, forcibly produced by a weaver the company kidnapped named Bonicetta. I didn't learn the truth until it was too late. And when our crime was uncovered, I was exiled from the Republics. Indeed. But I should have asked better questions of my employers. And now I'm here, kicking my heels in the Deadfire, where no one knows my name and with few prospects before me. I would like to make amends to Bonicetta personally, but it seems a distant possibility. It is good to blend in. All the better to observe the business of those around you, yes? Hark, you listen to my tale. I suppose I can do that for you for 3,000 copper. Well done. You nearly forgot something.
Fair day, traveler. Anything I can do for you, just say the word. Lady Adventurer at your humble service. I was born in a deer and raised in the field, and there's nary a crevice of this archipelago I haven't seen. The living lands most off, but the Deadfire as well of late. And my goodness, if you think the Deadfire's wild, I must say, it's no more thrilling than a Lady of Luxury's afternoon luncheon, in comparison to the glorious madness of the living lands. Being a cipher's come in quite handy, I'll tell you that. Oh, dear me, yes. Can't seem to avoid it. Not a lick of it's my fault, of course. It's the university. Always sending me to the most dangerous corners of Eora, the skimps. If I didn't know better, I might say they were trying to kill me. There's not other way to rid themselves of a tenured professor, after all. Oh, aye. Some you wouldn't right believe. Like the time I lost part of my ear here, see? Lost an entire research team along with the ear. Rather a long day, that was. My colleagues have implied I might be cursed, but I can't say I much agree. It's just the nature of the work, you understand. I mean, goodness. If you want a lady to find you the rarest plants, you gotta send her to the most remote places. On my last expedition, my colleague Inez got herself lost looking for what was essentially a big prickly weed. No medicinal use at all. I found her, though, mostly intact even. A blessing from the living lands, I call it, aye. But I do go on, don't I? With pleasure. Teaching is my specialty, after all. I'm gonna pack your brain with so much knowledge, you're gonna have a headache for a week. Excellent.
Have a pity. Is this what my life boils down to? A moment of entertainment for others? I was a bosun not so long ago, and a damn good one at that. But I took a shot to the face, see? Didn't lose much skin, but the flash burned out me eyesight. I can't make out so much as a blurry shape more than a foot away. Makes me right useless on a crew now, don't it? No one'll have me for work. Andra's blessed.
kill 'em, wait an hour, then pull any gold teeth. Easy as pie.
You're an idiot. Wait a minute, wait an hour. Alive, dead, it makes no difference at all.
I've pulled plenty of gold teeth. I know the right way of it.
Maybe I'll pull your teeth just to prove you wrong.
What do you know? It really does make no difference. You, out.
Pirate debates are about as sophisticated as I expected.
Found something.
Haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the King's Coffee. What can I do for you? Figured that out all on your own, did you? You're right, though. Inherited an old dhow from my da when he passed. Right piece of shit it was, too. Realised I was bound to make more coin turning her into a tavern than letting her rot in her berth.
Oh, God have mercy on me. Lost my God's damn soul in stupidity. Andre, save me now.
My ship was attacked and boarded by pirate hunters. Didn't know if we'd be able to get away, so I swallowed down my most valuable possession, Ngati's black tear, a gemstone about the size of my fist. Of course now it ain't coming out of either end. Been trying all manner of foul concoctions to no effect on account of my stomach being too strong. Years of sailing the storm-racked seas will do that to you. Started feeling an intense pain 2 days ago. I think I might be dying. I can't even crawl no more. Make me puke. Whatever you gotta do, just make it happen before this cursed gem kills me. Give me something strong enough to upset even my iron gut. Rosanella's got a stand in the Radiant Court. She's been supplying me with some, experimental concoctions, tweaking them after.
Hello. May I help you? Need anything? I'm not sure what there is to tell. I'm a man of adventure, mostly. A few. More than I could share in a night, to be sure. There is one that's close to my heart. It led me to my love. I was on an expedition into the backwoods of Rhaed Seras when I came across an abandoned town. To my great surprise, I found a tremendous hoard of books in the town priest's cottage. The Rhaed Serans are conservative folk, more so even than the Adirans. They don't have much use for reading that doesn't come from one of the holy texts of the Church of Aethys. And what a selection of books it was. Every subject represented, even some questionable ones. I couldn't help but help myself to them. I took as many as I could carry, and I can carry quite a bit. Read them all cover to cover and learned a lot too. I tired soon of wandering, so I settled in a small town in the Deerwood and became a tutor for a noble family. Fell in love with the governess, naturally, and I stayed. For a while. Well, I felt a stirring in my bones one day. I can't explain it. I just woke up, caught sight of the horizon, and had to go. I left my lady wife right there in our marital bed. I don't know what's waiting for me out here in the Deadfire. But I have hope this will be my biggest adventure yet. Well, you listened to my long tale. I suppose you are much obliged.
Erwina in the King's Coffin. She'll make you see stars.
Fresh fruit! What can I...
You half-masted sot! She's got to
Did
be
you hear?
90 years
The
old!
gilded kestrel was lost at sea.
From Goldfinch Fleet? Impossible
There
with her
goes the
wealth.
captain who
Weren't
murdered
there one to bribe?
Benwith.
The floating
cleaner than
hangman
I
gone.
expected.
Looking for
Now
work.
they're bones.
I've got coin and a few scores to settle.
So you're the captain the old port's been talking about? Aye, you do look like a fearsome sort. Welcome to Dunwich. What are you having? I'll pour you a double. No one survives the floating hangman, or so they say. It's the ship of the dead. You spy it on the horizon, you flee as fast as you can. Ah, I guess the last concoction I made for him didn't do the trick then. Poor bastard. There's one last tincture recipe I know that won't kill him, probably. It's called Andra's Bile, but I don't have all the ingredients in stock. You'll need a rotten hagfish, an unripened palm stone, and a vial of fire kelp extract. Have him mix it all with a half tankard of grog, and well, hope for the best. Check the barrels around Lifter's Refuse for the rotten hagfish. You might be able to find unripened palmstone for sale somewhere in Radiant Court. Parker in the King's Coffin usually keeps some fire kelp extract on hand for special purposes. Be careful when dealing with that one.
Board?
Keep moving. This here is for the crew of the Divine Barge. You ain't a part of it, so you ain't getting inside. Well, look here, one of Bareth's blessed. Maybe you could be part of the Divine Barge after all. Have you tried the Wild Mare in Nekataka? I'm sure they have a boy or two who would let you call him Giacomo for a couple hours.
Père Complanca, let us pass. I know you have Giacomo. I have known him since I was a girl in the Republics.
So? Why should I care?
He saved my life. He has saved the lives of many of our kind. Whatever you think he has done, you have the wrong idea about him.
Fine. I probably won't live to regret this. After you.
I am Tatzatl, captain of the Divine Barge. What has brought you to this place?
You have abducted the Animancer Giacomo, a valued citizen of the Valian Republics. He enjoys the protection of the Duke's bells and bannets, and through them, the Fremas Meskanxwelias. As a representative of the Brotherhood, I am here to negotiate his safe release. If Giacomo is not returned to us in good health, everyone involved in his kidnapping will face the wrath of the Five Sons. This, I swear.
I see. We ourselves have been debating what to do with Giacomo for quite some time. We are lost in the woods. You will guide us out by traveling the branching paths of Altleha. A forest is defined by its boundaries. There are a finite number of ways through a forest. just as there are a finite number of ways this can end. I know the ways out of the forest, but you will choose the paths to take. A woman is with a child, and she learns that if the child is born, it will suffer greatly and have a short life. If she ends the child's life before it truly begins, is this good or bad?
Saw enough of that during the Legacy. Answer's simple enough. When they ended it early, that was bad beyond measure. And when they didn't, same thing.
You discover a powerful new technology, but you are afraid some people may misuse it for ill purposes. Would you destroy the technology, regulate access to it, or make it available to everyone equally?
Certainly it should not be destroyed. It would only be a matter of time before someone else made the same discovery.
If it can be used for good, then surely it's better to entrust it to a responsible authority.
An enemy of yours is being persecuted. The grounds of the persecution are, by measure of your own compass, unfair. Would you allow the persecution to continue, or would you intervene to stop it? You learn that someone who does great good for many people is unintentionally going to do great harm to many people. The harm may not be great, or it may be so great that it dwarfs the good they have done. You have an opportunity to prevent this by killing them. Do you do so? Very well. Your path has led to this conclusion. We will release Giacomo and his research.
What was the point of taking him to begin with?
Giacomo has discovered a method by which one may detect a godlike fetus in a mother's womb. In the Deadfire Archipelago, parents consider a godlike child to be a blessing. From Bereth and Helia to Andra and Galawain, all are beloved, save those of Scan. Appearing mutilated at birth, many godlike of Scan are killed with the tacit approval of the tribe. Those who aren't killed lead miserable lives. I agree, as does my crew, which is why we decided to bring Giacomo here to decide what should be done about him, and his research.
And after all this, you're going to let him go because of how the Watcher answered your stupid riddles?
Yes. There may be superior ways to debate this subject, but it is the best approach I could conceive. Our group was conflicted, so I posed to you a series of hypothetical questions, absent the specific context of our current problem. While you may have deduced some hint of the context during the questioning, it was a less biased method of reasoning than we were engaged in. After all, for us, this is a matter of life and death. Mestre Giacomo and his research are free to go. Now, if you will excuse us, we must prepare for our next voyage.
I honestly do not know what those pirates would have done to Giacomo if we hadn't arrived. And now we have saved not only the man, but his research as well. Agrissima, Watcher.
Pallegina, is that you, my girl? I thought those pirates would have been the end of me.
Not if I could do something about it. I owe you too much to let something happen to you over some nonsense.
My girl, what that satyr said is not nonsense. He had good reason to be afraid. Sadly, many are not, and as a group we have no ability to monitor and reprimand those who act irresponsibly.
And you should not be expected to. Who would even be capable of doing such a thing?
Perhaps the dukes would be wise enough to regulate animances without driving them away from the republics.
Ach, that is the danger. When Adir and the Dyrwood began restricting animancers, researchers simply moved east to the republics.
But a light and wise hand to steady our course. Perhaps that would be a good thing. Ach, perhaps.
Well, it appears we are done here. We should see you back to Neketaka, Mestre Jocolo.
Ak. Before I go, I want you to have this, Aimoranet. An amulet of my own invention. It resonates with the godlike souls. Even severed, there is enough magic in your chime to activate its power. I appreciate all you have done, both of you.
You are too kind, Watcher. I accept. Okay? Watcher, you only have...
Sure.
Ahoy.
Much ado to you, Casita. A word of advice. Guard your back in dunnage. You have not yet carved a name for yourself or your crew. Yet you choose to swim in a sea of sharks. Should one take a bite, the Consuelo will not intervene. Elsewise, how might I be of assistance? I met Ferrante decades ago. Many years I sailed as his first mate before building my own humble fleet. When in the Principe, do as the Valians do. Unless, of course, you have no care for tradition, or the continued sustainability of our way of life, like some filthy new blood. You have my ear, Casita. Of what do you wish to discuss today? Yes, our Council of Captains. There are 7 seats on the Consuelo, each occupied by a high-ranking captain within the Principe. Seat holders convene to vote on a variety of issues concerning the Principe's well-being. To claim a seat, a captain must have substantial backing and sufficient power both politically and physically. Ferrante, the last Marcheso, holds the highest-ranking seat because the most ships in our entire fleet have pledged loyalty to his flag. As you can guess, the Sea Wolf, Aldis, commands the second most numerous fleet of ships. As such, she is the second chair, and I am the third. Perhaps you would like to attend the proceedings when the Consuelo next convenes. You may have noticed a divide between old blood and the new, by which I mean those who descended from or otherwise hold Old Valia in grand esteem. And the varied and often uncouth recruits we have since brought into the fold. I assure you, the latter was supremely by necessity, though perhaps I am ill-equipped to throw stones. As a casita of some repute, you will be most welcome in the king's coffin. But you should watch yourself throughout the radiant court.
Castol warned me you would come, but he did not indicate how much he'd have briefed you in advance. You can assure Castol that I would have handled it in due time. I've simply been tied up with other matters. However, if you were to handle this small matter for the both of us, I would see to your reward, personally. As you prefer. You're to go to Crooksburg and speak with a Master Kua. He runs the island.
Flogging fuck.
Hand me your map, and I'll mark Crooksburg's location. I trust that Castol has already pressed upon you the need for discretion regarding this matter. Don't answer that. Ah, Watcher. Good, you have arrived.
Ahoy there yourself, Captain. Or do I be but a pretty bit of man-meat to dangle from a wrist? As easily forgotten as set aside.
A little seabird informs me that you have dealt with our mutual problem, the scoundrel Benoit. Gelarde. For this, you have my grandest commendation.
You'd have been right amused, you would. Few sights as fine as that hard-blowing 3-sheeter getting what's long been doing.
You are lacking in so many ways, my former ship hunter, that no one can say you are not entertaining. I myself would have enjoyed watching you put the scoundrel in his place. No, as my memory serves me, you did not. And as promised, I have prepared for you a fine prize. However, there is another matter of which we must now speak. I must confess to you a bit of a problem has arisen. One which speaks to your expertise with the supernatural. We've sighted the floating hangman that haunts the Deadfire. It would seem I have undervalued you, Watcher. I will not mince words, as you undoubtedly know what we are up against. This galleon, what likely remains of the Von Ferros, is a frightful legend. We have been losing ships at sea, amico, and not to those Valera ship-hunting bastards. I believe the floating hangman may be our culprit. Fortune favors us, as I have procured a survivor from such a recent sinking. You will consider what she has to say. Come forth, Selenia. Quickly now, or I will run rivers of your lethargic blood. Well, spit it out, Selenia, and try not to embarrass me before our guest.
Of course, Captain. It might have pretty hard near the end, but I spit the tale as best as I can. Go on, gent. I'm ready as I'm like to get me. You aren't quite what I expected, Watcher. You're kinder than most. Saw my old crew slaughtered me, my best mates, and even a few I hated. They weren't but blood and meat in the end. It branded the back of my eyes, that moment. High seas, nothing but blue all around. Then, mist so thick you could taste it. Ships sailed from within. Out of nowhere was a hunt, not for loot, but for bodies. The ship, it looked rotted. The crew, they were all undead. Couldn't stop them from boarding, couldn't kill them, couldn't even fight them in the end. They were dreadful. Some were clothed, like maybe they'd only recently died. Others weren't more than moving bones. One was different. Her presence was overwhelming. Heavy. Flames burned in the place of her eyes. The crew shambled hard to do her bidding, even the ones who seemed hardly aware. Figured she was the captain, me.
There is a flag the floating hangman flies. A flag that once heralded the Fonferus of Old Valia. It belonged to a Darkotsi paladin of some legend, one Lucia Rivan. But Selenia's knowledge is limited in this regard. Let us instead ask her of a subject she may know.
Me and my crew were adept. Alert. Always. No. Weren't no one gonna get the jump on us. Was some magic foul. Just sudden like, the winds died, the waters fell flat and the air got heavy. They turned sky and the sea both against us. Then this thick fog roiled up at midday. Without a sound, the Spectre ship skimmed right out. It was too late. We couldn't outsail it. Dunno me. Drifted for days, maybe longer. Kept winking in and out after I ran out of drink.
One of mine found her no more than a week ago. Malnourished, dehydrated. The poor girl was scarcely able to speak.
Well, I'm more than able to gabble now, aren't I? Could sail, too. No, you got no reason to keep me.
Perhaps there is something else you wish to ask of our guest before she departs from us.
Calling me Craven? Huh, sure, I am. Took a knock-in and I was out for a while. When I came to, they were eating Ganasco, our steward. I dropped a dinghy and rode for it. Don't know why they didn't give chase. Don't much care, me. Me and my crew were adept. Alert. Always. No. Weren't no one gonna get the jump on us. Was some magic foul. Just sudden like, the winds died, the waters fell flat and the air got heavy. They turned sky and the sea both against us. Then this thick fog roiled up at midday. Without a sound, the Spectre ship skimmed right out. It was too late. We couldn't outsail it.
She belongs to Aldis, who undoubtedly will come to claim her soon. But that is a problem for another time. One moment, Watcher.
Looks like we'll be making a salty grog-sucking cur of this one yet.
Mind the manner in which you address me, ship hunter. Allow me to cut to the heart of it. Lucia Revan, whose flag flies atop our spectral ship, was a Darkotsi paladin who died more than 200 years ago. It is my hope that uncovering the details regarding dear Revan's fate in life may illuminate the nature of her undeath and how to defeat her galleon. Unfortunately, the only soul who could possibly shine more light on our situation lies buried deep within Neketaka. One Isir the Berethian, now well rotted, I presume. Meaning what by that last? You were able to read his soul, despite how much time has passed? You're trepanning me, must be. Well, amico, I must ask that you enlighten me. A death guard? How fascinating. And terrible. I must, of course, presume that you've unearthed a promising lead for us. Perhaps you were able to learn about Revan's whereabouts, of where her spectral ship oft anchors? I can summon to mind no island with such name. Likely it hides now behind another. I will charge my best chroniclers to track our isle through the centuries. I believe you're becoming an invaluable asset to the Principe, and I deeply value each of my assets. You must accept this token of my immense appreciation. Keep an ear to the sea, amico. I will contact you when I have made a significant gain into the investigation of our mysterious floating hangman.